Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to Gamersledge Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Mark, and joining me tonight is Matt. Hi, Matt.
Hello.
And it's just a fireside chat with the two of us, and we have so much to talk about. It is, of course, Gamersledge Podcast for 10/16/2020. That is October 16th. We're halfway through the month. It feels like this year has been going on for 942.7 years.
And yet October just started yesterday.
Did it? Because it feels like it's been here forever for me.
We just finally got the Halloween decorations out. So that's usually a much earlier event in the year.
Well, the funny part for us is, I'll talk about that a little bit here in a minute. But we've been moving, and we're still not done moving. And the folks across the way, they have like one of those ridiculous over-the-top yard displays with like 97 moving things and everything. But they turn it off early for what I would consider early. It's like 9 o'clock. They turn it off. And so in the late evenings and in the mornings, it looks like somebody's done a drive-by and just murdered all the people. Every time I see it more deflated than I do actually up. So it's kind of weird. But yeah, that's been causing amusement for me lately. But we have so much stuff to talk about. But let's start with what you've been doing since the last podcast, and we'll go from there.
All right. Well, since I have done a terrible job of actually keeping up with it, I don't have very much because I haven't been writing it down, which means I immediately forget it. So let's see. I'll start with the TV shows because that's a pretty short list. I finished up a German Netflix show called Biohackers, which just makes me sit here and wonder why can't we just have some decent localization and dubs for things like Netflix shows? Because, it's not like we don't have the entire industry set up for that and such, but man. And I was watching it while I was on the elliptical, so it's hard for me to do subtitles while doing that level of exercise because I'm like wiping my brow and wanting to die because it's exertion. And so just reading subtitles doesn't always work so well. And then of course you do have the subtitles on, and of course they don't match because the vocal, net dubs and subs never match. Right. So it's just, yeah, but I suffered my way through it. It wasn't a bad show. Would have been better if I wouldn't, be struggling with the dang localization. Oh Lord, my notes did something.
Well, while you're doing that, Banner says, "Wow, you sound way better, louder than previous shows." Yes, that's because I'm not in transit, but I'll get to that. But also, thanks for joining us. Hi, and we started a couple minutes late because I've actually, until right before we started broadcasting, I was literally moving things around, and I'm still not done. I realized that my HDMI cable is way too short to go to the new TV, so I got to get a new HDMI cable. So, and my sound bar is coming out, like my sound bar, or all my sound is coming out of the left TV because it has the sound bar attached. And so I've got to move everything over to the new ones, but I've read there may be problems with the sound bar attached to the new one, so I'm like, do I just leave it on the left one or go? Anyways, yeah.
Wow.
Sorry. I hijacked your stuff. Sorry.
That's
is
okay.
Is it done glitching?
Yeah, it's fixed.
Okay.
So I finished Raised with Wolves season 1. That show runs the gambit from pretty good to WTF to made me think way too much about Prometheus, which is arguably like my least favorite movie of all time. And then at the end just kind of goes, yeah, whatever. And we'll just do some stuff and it doesn't have to make sense. Okay. It wasn't bad. But at the end of it, I'm just kind of going, no, okay.
Matt has new posters. What are the two over your right shoulder? Looks like one of them's Spider-Man, from what I can see.
Oh, they're actually not new. That's actually the same one. Yeah, that one's a Symbiote Spider-Man. It's a cover from Symbiote Spider-Man #1, and then that's the Attack on Titan prints that we got when we were in at Wizard World that one year together. So yeah, and then the one over there, that's the Spider-Man from the cover to the adaptation of the video game. So yeah, I do need to get some new posters up, but I just haven't had the time or energy to find new posters. So then I've been working on The Boys season 2. I think I'm about halfway through. So that's still pretty good, still holding up.
I still haven't started it because
Uh,
Lexi's not here. So yeah,
Whoa. Don't do whatever you just did. Okay,
yeah.
stop doing stop.
It's crooked and it's driving me insane. I like notice it's a tilt, and I'm like, do I need to lean or what? I don't know why. The rig is straight, but for some reason the camera is.
A hair crooked.
Yeah, I don't like it. Don't like it.
Fix it for next week.
Yeah, I will.
And then I've been watching, after I finished Biohackers, I started Away on Netflix, which is the Hilary Swank going to Mars family drama thing. And that's actually really good. It's pretty solid. Although they have not explained how a ship that is moving at an indeterminate speed, but is at least a month away from the Earth on a trajectory to Mars, can have real-time audio conversations via cell phones
With each other on the ship.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
no. The mom on the ship talking to the daughter on Earth.
oh. Maybe they. No.
I could figure out the whole, okay, sure, they could relay the signal and we could say that, but I mean, there's like a second delay from the moon to Earth.
Right. I would think that maybe they have some technology they haven't explained yet.
Yeah, I think they're just glossing over that for the sake of just making it easy. Anyway, so on the game front, I played and finished the Star Wars Squadrons story campaign. Really well done. Very overall, the gameplay, the story, the mission structures are very reminiscent of the old X-Wing TIE Fighter games. The first mission you play actually has those weird rectangular shaped freighters that you have to scan at the beginning of the game. It actually has new versions of those really weird shaped freighter container things. It does some goofy things. I mean, because
Uh-oh. You're roboticizing again.
the movies, between the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy. Uh-oh. Okay. Am I done yet?
You're still in the red, but I can hear you somewhat normally now. Okay, I think you're good now.
Good now? Okay. And now I've lost my...
Yeah, you're back to yellow now.
Okay, well, I don't know what to say.
And now you're white. You're good.
Okay. Apparently I'm bouncing around like a yo-yo, but I've completely lost my zoom window now, so that's awesome.
Yeah, you
Oh,
don't
wait,
need
can
that.
I? Oh, there we go. Anyway, yeah, well, it's just, So anyway, I very much enjoyed that. I did pick up some of the single player or multiplayer stuff, played around with that, as to be expected. I'm not great at multiplayer because I'm not. So even go pew 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 in space, I'm still not very good at the multiplayer thing. So, but it's fun. It's not something I could do a lot of. There's really two modes. There's deathmatch basically, and then there's the structured fleet battles, which is actually ripped straight out of Battlefront 2, the new Battlefront 2's multiplayer.
Well, it is Battlefront 2's multi. I mean, this is they just took the if we did it in space instead of the atmosphere, and that's what this became.
Well, no, but I mean there was a ship there in 2. There is a space. There's space multiplayer too,
Right.
and so they had this mode where you had to advance the line and attack the capital ship and stuff, and they've implemented that in this engine, or unless it's the same engine anyway, but it's first person instead of third person. So they implemented that in there, and yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's really hard to attack. Attacking is really hard. At least I found it to be very hard. You can only attack for so long before you're pushed back on the defensive, and then you got to build your defense up to the point where you can push the attack again. And it basically just works out to basically whoever goes on the attack first generally wins, because the way the yo-yo works and the amount of health that the capital ships have. But otherwise, the death match, even for my puny self, I was able to get some kills. So it was, pretty good. There's some, if you wanted to get like technical about TIE fighters of that period, probably shouldn't have had the ability to shoot missiles, but if they didn't, the game would be incredibly unfair. So, yeah, but overall, that was really fun.
So
Again,
I should do my side of this because did you get to play it in VR yet?
I have not because I just have this feeling that it's very vomit comet, and I am not the best with
It's
the
not
whole
bad.
motion sickness thing.
It's not bad. No, but what they didn't, I mean, it's on the sales page, but it is not like highlighted on the sales page. Is the fact that you have to use a controller with it. It is not. Yeah. There are no VR controls. So if you think you're going to sit in the cockpit and flip the buttons, you can't do it. Also,
no. Okay.
Banner says the answer to your question about the Hillary Swank thing, how they can do calls in real time, is exceptional T-Mobile cell coverage. That's what he said.
There you go. Yeah, that must be it. That's the secret.
But no, I'm sad that I spent $40 on a game that I feel is like half complete. And that's
as a VR game, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's not it's technically it's my fault and I accept that. But they could have done a better job of like really like, hey, you have to use a controller, and I don't almost ever use a controller with VR. I use the actual VR controller, so it's kind of silly that you can't map them or something. But
and with PSVR, you've kind of got a 50-50 shot, with whether it's controller based or not. So yeah, that didn't. You can definitely tell those in between mission spaces were definitely designed for VR. I mean, just as you're trying to look around with the controller and a TV, you can definitely tell those were designed with VR in mind. And that was very Wing Commander. The whole conversations in between missions thing. That was very, very Wing Commander.
Which I liked very much. I'll tell you what I didn't like is every time there's a cutscene, it's displayed on a flat screen in VR. I'm like, this is what I mean. It's like, it feels like they went really halvesies on it, right? Like, hey, this would be cool if we had VR, but let's not do too much work. Come on now.
Yeah, well, that's a $40 game. I mean,
yeah, well, that's still bad. That's like really high priced for VR.
For a VR, yeah. If it was a VR game, yeah, it's a almost VR game.
I'm just hoping maybe they'll do something for it. I don't know. We'll see. Probably.
Yeah,
not.
I don't know. It really sounds like they're not going to support. I mean, not support it. I mean, they're going to keep going with keep them online player and patch it and whatever. But it doesn't sound like they're looking to intend to grow it at all.
If you had to give it a score, or not even a score, like I think we're going to change this up. Would you recommend people spend their money on it?
If it's something that is even remotely interesting to you, yes.
I would say as a VR game, it's great. Like flying is fun, and it kind of like you said, it's kind of that give and take, and the missions are fun. And I kind of like how you play the same mission from two different perspectives sometimes, where you're doing the rebels first, and then you do the exact same mission from the Empire. Thank you. Jesus. Haven't mentioned it's been a week. I really like that because it does give you kind of some insight. I think it gets old after a little while, but at the same time, I still kind of liked it.
I liked it. There was some weird pacing where you'd like stay one side for a really long time, and then you'd flip to the other one, and it's just like okay, there's a little bit of whiplash there, the switching of the perspective, but it was nice. There's some call outs. There were some references. Hera Syndulla from Rebels is in there. It's actually her. It's the voice actress. Yeah. The Twi'leki general.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
The Green Lady.
Oh, okay.
I'm speaking Star Trek for you now.
The Orion. Yeah, the Orion.
But everything outside of Rebels seems to have forgotten that she had a son at the end of Rebels. It's like this kid is nowhere to be found all of a sudden. It's like
she's in the back with the droid.
With the droid, yeah. Chopper wasn't in there either, but he is. If you look through the hologram, or was he a dangly? Well, those stupid things you can buy for your cockpit. He was either a dangly or one of those little hologram things you could buy that
Chopper
Bob
or her
Hope.
son?
Chopper.
Oh, okay. I was gonna
Not
say
her son. No,
her
no, no,
son's a
not her
dangly.
son.
That's
Her
horrible.
son being a dangly, that would be oh dear. Anyway, on to other games. I think I mentioned the last time we were on the podcast that I did a subscription with PlayStation Now,
Yeah,
and I've been digging through that, trying out some different stuff. Just playing it to see if it's one of the things that's going to expire. If I got to put it on the priority list, or if it's not something that expires, I can just throw it in the queue and say, okay, hey, whatever. But one of the great little time wasters I found on there is a game called Infinite Mini Golf,
oh yeah, I know about
and
that game.
it's a pretty fun little game. It's well made. It's pretty tight. I mean, I haven't dove into the user created content stuff. I'm still doing the structured stuff. But if you just got a couple of minutes and you're just looking for something to, play, you've got like 10 minutes before you want to go to bed or something, and you want to play something quick, you can fire that up and play through a 9-hole round pretty quickly. And you can do that in VR too. I haven't tried it yet. I don't know what the VR component to it is. If it's just third person, over the top view kind of thing, or if you're actually playing the golfer.
I think you play the golfer.
So I do need to try that one out though. Every time I fire it, it says PSVR detected. Would you like to do this in VR? No, because I usually am playing it when I've only got 10, 15 minutes to play, and 10 of that would be.
Isn't that really like the motto of the PlayStation VR? PSVR detected. Would you like to play it? No.
No. It's okay.
Actually, I really hope they come out with a new one. I think this would. I still say of all of the three, that was the best designed headset. You don't get tired or fatigued wearing it, whereas the rest of them are either too front heavy or too back heavy, and you get tired wearing it. That was the best engineered one.
Yeah.
You've been taken over by Westworld. Like season 2 Westworld.
Lightsaber game. Beat Saber with that is, I mean, it's almost. Uh-oh, you froze.
Oh, yeah, you were so frozen that it froze me. Okay, you're good. You're back.
I'm back. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, Beat Saber works really well with the PSVR. I mean, it's the headset is almost so not there because it doesn't weigh you down at all.
Not in my news list, but we should mention it since you brought it up. Multiplayer mode coming to Beat Saber.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
I still need to get in and play that. I bought that stupid Star Trek Captain chair. It's a game, and I have never.
It is so good too. It is so good. Let me know when you want to play.
We need to get a session.
Yeah, you, me, Daniel. Yeah. We'll get that running.
Yeah.
And I think he's got a couple people, so we can fill out the entire.
Get a full crew.
Yeah. Yep.
I did throw on season 2 of Fall Guys just quick because I thought there were going to be more new levels, and there really weren't. It was the same old levels, just with mods version 2. Mm-hmm. So that got boring, and I quit. So there was that. I played a very, 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 very small amount of Baldur's Gate 3. And it wasn't that it was buggy or anything. It's just the timing of it just didn't really work out. So I got to the point where you meet the first party member, and then you beat some imps up and head toward the front of the ship, and that's as far as I got. So like really not very far at all.
Yeah.
But it looks decent. I mean, for at least a year ahead of time game, it seems pretty decent at the intro part at least. So I know you guys have had a lot more trouble with it, and you'll probably talk more about that later. And then the last thing I have been pumping a lot of time into, I think my save's at like 40 hours now, is Nier Automata. I'm way behind on that game, obviously. I mean, starting it. But it is very good. It's platinum, so it's the very platinum action type in the combat. Story is really pretty much straightforward, but a lot of it is left to your imagination in the first playthrough, and then as you do other things, it gets weird, which we could only expect from a dude that wears a moon with a weird face on it on his head, and then puts a bunch of those heads in the game in the desert for you randomly to come across. Yeah. Anyway, but I'm in the middle of the second official playthrough. I think I've gotten a total of 6 endings, just by doing random stuff, that gets you an ending. Um, but there are 26 of them, so that's going to take a while if I'm going to go for all of them. But I got to figure out how many endings I got to get to the true ending. So I'm probably going to have to pull up a guide at some point and make sure I know when I'm actually there. Because I know most of the endings are just goof endings. So that is pretty much it. I haven't really watched any movies. I haven't. Is your brain exploding or?
We finding the true.
Oh,
Go ahead.
oh dear.
Ain't nobody
Uh,
got time for that except you.
well, that's the point where I'll get the guide out and say, okay, now what do I got to do? Okay. Um, but yeah, I guess that's it.
Well, so I know we kind of briefly touched on it last podcast 2 weeks ago, but basically the last 2.5 months has been a whirlwind of things I never expected, nor plus the world's gone to hell in a handbasket, plus uh, certain clouds opened up to reveal the ray of light kind of thing, and everything's kind of fit together in this weird dance of jigsaw puzzleness for my life. Basically, we were under assault in our apartment in San Francisco, and by that I mean, if you haven't heard, San Francisco is having a mass exodus of people right now. Why? Because it turns out tech companies who say you can work from home and that means you can work from anywhere, and not just tech companies, but pretty much all companies at this point seem to be doing that to some degree or another. It doesn't make sense for people to live in the most expensive place in the world to live, and so they leave, and that's what happens. And so then, as we saw everyone moving away from our apartment, they decided to modernize. So I lived in a 108-year-old Edwardian house, and if you're not familiar with the Edwardian, it's the one right after Victorian. So it was built in the early 1900s, but it has like the closest thing I could say is a lot of Downton Abbey style touches to it, like crown molding that comes out 1.5 feet from the wall that goes all the way around the apartment. Built-in 100-year-old hutches and china displays and pantries and stuff like that. So a lot of charm in this place, a lot of charm, and that's one of the reasons that my wife and I fell in love with it. More my wife because that's her thing, and I'm just, as long as she's happy, I'm happy. But as all these people started to move out, they've decided to chop all that out and modernize them. And so in doing so, we literally had every side of us and above and below us move out. And so they were doing demo work on all 4 sides. And as you might imagine, it's kind of hard to hear yourself think when somebody's drilling above you, knocking out a wall to the side of you, doing work below you and on the left as well. Anyways, they punched a bunch of holes in our apartment. And I will say this, my property management company, even though I was not super happy that they were doing that to the apartments, nothing but professional, nothing but nice. They were very, very conciliatory for any damage that they caused. They basically broke through 4 different places 4 different times. But the last one, I had literally just put Lexi on a plane to go visit her sister because her sister had some stuff going on that she needed to go be there for her. And a guy fell through my ceiling. And that created this plume of dust and drywall dust and everything, coated everything in the house. The apartment complex was very helpful. I decided that we needed to get out of there. We had an opportunity to move to Vegas, so that's what I did. Although timing on that ended up being a little crazy. And as Matt likes to joke, I moved 12 times in 17 days. It's not quite that bad, but it was pretty close. Not gonna lie. This is the. I'm trying to think. I got back here last Saturday evening. Sunday. Sunday was, Saturday evening was last move, and starting to get everything set up and get the studio, my filming studio done, which is going to be the stuff behind me. So that's been a kind of a crazy thing. So that has meant that I've not played a lot. Of course, now that I'm looking at the list, Matt's still going to call shenanigans and say that I have some kind of time dilation machine or something like that. I played STO for one evening. Star Trek Online has a new thing. So for those of you that have been following us for a very long time, you know that I was very upset with Star Trek Online for quite a while because they added a new upgrade tier that was like 3 times more difficult to get than if you'd gone 1 to 13 in the first place. You had to do 3 times that to get from 13 to 14, and I was like, screw your game, I'm out, even though I have 2 lifetime subs on it. I was like, forget this. I went back eventually. I love the game. That's part of the problem. But what they did this week, and I don't think it's out on PS4 yet, it's just on PC, but they made it to where, and they're giving everybody one for free if you log on during the month that it comes out. They're doing what's called experimental upgrades for ships, which is pretty sweet. And what it does is it adds an extra device on your ship. Most have 3, some have 4. So this can get you up to a 5th device slot, depending on your ship. It adds an extra universal console, meaning you can put any console into this slot on the ship, which a lot of times you've been stuck in the past where you have like partial sets, right? Because you have 3 of one and then 1 of another, and you don't get any bonuses till you get 2 of a set together. So now you'll actually be able to have 2 set bonuses, which should actually be really interesting for the metagame. For DPS output and stuff like that, and even space wizards like me for my science personnel. And then it also gets you. I'm forgetting something else. It's pretty drastic, and I can't think of what it is. I don't remember, but it was good. Anyways, you get one of them for free. One for your account, not for per character or anything like that. And that's coming to the PS4 here, I think, at the end of this month or beginning of next month. Baldur's Gate 3 early access, since you talked about that. We are actually transitioning the Monday night stream over to Baldur's Gate 3 probably this week, maybe next week, depending on patches. So, Matt, you played like so little of the game, you never got to any of the problem points. I have legit not been able to go further than 40 minutes in the game, and it got to the point where I was a ghost who couldn't interact with anything on the entire map. Daniel and I synced up to do multiplayer just for fun, to test it.
Right.
I'm not joking. Where you met that other person, you're on the side of the ship, right?
Right.
He walked off the side of the ship, and the game did not know what to do. And we were in combat, but I couldn't do anything. He was dead, so it was like, you're all ghosts, and we're not going to do anything. And then we did a second game, and he got into combat before I got there. And so then I couldn't do anything in combat, yet he was done with his turn and it wouldn't go forward. So we've not had any success. Like, no success. I've seen a bunch of streamers going forwards, like playing through the entire thing. I'm like, I haven't been able to even do any of this yet, save for a small little chunk. So I'm hoping if we do it this Monday, I'm hoping they're doing like hot patches and hot fixes every day. So that's it is a year early access. I'd still call it like pre-alpha at this point. It's got the and I don't want to make people think that it's not worth your time and money. If you want a finished game, then just wait. Don't spend your money on this now. This is by far for people who want to see the core basics. How are they converting the rules? What can you do with the system? There's a lot here to be super hopeful for. But I also know that they listen to their community, and the community is actually making some really good suggestions on to how to improve this thing, and it needs a lot of work still. So keep that in mind. It is full price if you want to get in on the early access. It's $60. And I say if you're just wanting a finished perfect game, don't buy it now. Wait until they release it, and you'll be good. If you want to see how like the underpinnings of what they're thinking and how they're leaning everything, this is absolutely great. It's fantastic. It's broken, but it's buggy, and it's not broken for some people. It just hooray me. But yeah, so far, but I think that can be interesting in and of itself if the four of us get together on Monday and try and do this, and then it goes horribly, horribly wrong, which I'm sure it's going to. That should be fun too. So, Baldur's Gate 3 Early Access. By the way, the music.
Oh, yeah.
It is fantastic. So good. Played Squadrons in VR, thanks to Anthony, who came over and brought it. And then played a little more Pop-Up Dungeon. Bishop is almost done. Did we talk about Pop-Up Dungeon on the cast? I can't remember.
I don't think so.
So Pop-Up Dungeon is a little indie game that I don't want to say something reductive like it's like the Little Big Planet or Dreams, but it kind of is. It's basically its own game engine, and you can build anything within the confines of that engine. It is not like Dreams in the fact that you can't build any type of game, right? It's always going to be a RPG, tactical RPG kind of situation. But you get to build what the scenario looks like. You can voice everything yourself. You can build your own characters. You can build your own powers. You can build your own weapons for those characters. And so I've actually been working hard on Bishop, and like legit, I have like Bishop's voice. I have Bishop's weapons. I have Shard in the game. I have like all his alternate timelines make appearances. So it's pretty interesting. And my favorite part is when you upload something and then people start to downvote it for no particular reason with no comments or feedback. That's my favorite. I love the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't do that, people. Rock Band. I've actually played quite a bit of Rock Band recently. It's I don't have to worry about neighbors with open windows 3 feet away from me.
This is true. Are you playing the rivals, or are you just straight playing?
We've been playing the Rocky Drama stuff.
Rocky Drama.
Yeah, I haven't. I'm still really, really upset about the multiplayer stuff. Like, I know.
Fair enough.
And can I mention that the price of instruments is like more valuable than gold?
Yeah, because they haven't made any in like 3-4 years.
Listen, man, I am like Lexi is now starting to realize we had the stuff when we left Michigan, 5.5-6 years ago. The stuff we sold off is worth $3,000 now, easy. And it's like just the MIDI sequencer or the MIDI converter that I had. That thing is $395 by itself. Oof. And it's like I did pick up a drum set, so I have drums. And Daniel was super nice. He brought his cymbals, the pro drum set cymbals, except that one of them has a broken wire, and he tried to fix it, and it didn't work. And so the cymbals are useless as of right now. But we're going to continue to try and figure this out and get it working again, because that's another $200 just on its own for the cymbals.
Oh yeah,
so dumb. Anyways, the I want your opinion. How do you feel about the quality of the downloadable songs?
Quality of the implementation or
mainstream appeal? Mainstream appeal.
I don't know. It's kind of hit and miss, right? I mean, there are weeks where the term rock probably doesn't apply to the DLC. and then, but I mean, I get it. They're trying to cast a wide net. So, I mean, I get it. And you want to do songs that are relevant to the people who are still buying DLC. But then you hear people complaining that, well, why is this song in Rock Band? Or, that, and then they do stuff like they did with this, was it last week, where they dropped 4 songs from 4 groups that like 5 people have ever heard of.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine. I mean, people need to get exposure, and they are all musicians, and they're in the East Coast music scene. So I get it. They want to hook their friends up, which is fine, and it's free. So
Right, and that was free, so I have no problem with that.
When the songs come up in the rotation, though, and you're kind of like, though, what? I don't even understand what this song is trying to do. It does get a little frustrating. That's true. So it's been mixed bag. I haven't bought a lot, to be fair.
Yeah.
To be fair. I haven't bought a lot because we've got a fair number of songs, and if we're going to be able to pass Rivals, which is usually all we're looking to do for Eve and I, is can we pass this level of Rivals? We've got enough songs to make it work. Either that, or it's of a type of music where we're never going to make it work anyway, because try as I might, I cannot sing AC/DC. Maybe in my younger years a little bit, not anymore at all. Like one song in my throat is just shredded cheese.
You can just sing it normally and it's not going to count against you.
You can.
I get it. Trust me, I get it. I'm the one who sings in Alice in Chain lead singer voice every time possible. But yeah. I just, the music really kind of fallen off for me, and I'm really disappointed about it because I want to give them money. I love the game. Right. I want to. It's just like,
and we just.
I can't complain. Almost every song I ever wanted is in the freaking game. So like, right. It's not like there are still like a couple gems that I never expect them to get, but they went. Screaming Trees. I nearly lost you. Right. As soon as that's in the game, what else do I need? I mean, there's.
I mean, there's still some notables, and I'm sure it's all just licensing and publishers and record labels and stuff. But there are some notable artists who are just flat out absent, especially for the style of music that I tend to lean towards. But like, why has there never been like? Anyway, we could go on for hours. But the nice thing, we did just get confirmation that all of the equipment and all of the songs should work on PS5 with Rock Band 4 backwards compatible.
Nice. So
you should be able to do that at least. Maybe they'll give us a little something extra if you're on there. We don't know that yet, but so that's good. Now I have a problem where I've got a flipper on a guitar that is not working right, and I'm afraid to take the guitar apart and find out that I've got a broken flipper, in which case I'm going to have to find somebody with a 3D printer that makes pieces that are of a hard enough plastic that can print a new one, and I can actually install it and it not like shatter the first time somebody goes to hit a bass line too hard or something. But yeah, so it's interesting. I really wish that they would find a way to get a new hardware partner or something where it's not third-party ridiculous resale of stuff.
Well, I'm just surprised nobody has like decided to 3D print these things in their entirety, and so it seems like it's there's a demand for it, but who knows. I played some Nidhogg.
The original?
That game, the original, because that game is ridiculous fun, and I was playing. I'm trying to think who I was playing that with. Nope. They just landed. And I also played Fall Guys for the first time.
You did finally play Fall Guys.
Yeah, I got Ken on there, and we were playing it, and he was complaining the whole time. It was great. And then he was doing better than me, and I'm all like, whatever. Because I get it. It's kind of dumb. It's kind of fun. It's you want to
kind of dumb fun.
You want to do better, but there's so many things against you from doing better. I mean, you winning is legit just a fluke. I don't think you can actually play to win.
There are people who somehow, there's cheaters, obviously, and they've done a lot to get rid of cheating, especially on the PC front. But I mean, there are people who definitely have legit tactics because there are people with, hundreds of crowns. So they've figured it out. I mean, it took us like Keegan. It took Keegan like 3 weeks of straight playing to figure out that when you're doing a jump, dive because you get up quicker when you dive from a jump than just jumping and falling over.
Well, we played for like, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half, possibly 2 hours, and Banner got the crown. He said it was
Oh,
stupid
he
fun.
actually he won. He won around.
He won around, yeah. That's why I'm like, all right then. He's
Yeah,
like, it's
turn
stupid
around
fun. Yeah, frustrating but
play
fun
for,
is what he said.
play for an hour and get a crown. I've played for probably 20 hours and I've barely ever make it to the final round.
Nice. Yeah, no, he got a crown, and it was like, it was one of those photo finish endings because two people were jumping for the MacGuffin at the end. It was him and one other person.
Was it the mountain one? You run up the mountain and it's at the top of the mountain.
It was one where you had to go up, but then it was a MacGuffin suspended in the middle, and you had to jump
that's the mountain.
for it.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Right.
that's the mountain. Yeah. The crown is sitting up there, and then as someone gets close enough for the ramp, it drops so that you can actually jump up to get it. But yeah, usually there's two people, one coming from each side, and it seems to be completely random which one of them gets it. But
Yeah, he got it, and he said, "I hate platforming games," and that's why he was complaining the whole time.
it is the drunken sea monkey of platforming games.
Yes, it is. So there's that. So we did that, and then on a watching front, watched wrestling for the last 2 weeks. This week was the 1 year anniversary for AEW.
It's been a year already. Wow.
Yeah, and I've not been able to do any Smart Mark recaps, reviews, because it's been just crazy with moving and everything. And plus my internet, that was the other thing. This house had like the worst internet I've ever seen. Like legit was 2 megabits upload. So it was really rough, but just got all that upgraded. So now it should be good. I'm about to run a 100-foot cable into this room, hook up a router so that my computer and my PlayStations can be using that. And then I finished The Good Place, finally, which if you've not watched that show and you are anywhere in the neighborhood of liking philosophy, you totally should watch that show. Philosophy is very interesting. My mom is super religious, and we have differing views on the universe, and that was a show that we could watch together and laugh and still have fun, because it deals in a lot of good old-fashioned conjecture and debate about the human experience. And it's really good. Well written. And then the other thing I watched, I got to see it, Banner. I saw the 1 year anniversary. That was really good. I was not expecting that ending for the Mox Archer match, and I actually called the ending for the Orange Cassidy Cody match well beforehand. But again, we didn't get to talk about any of it. It sucks. We may try and do some kind of mega recap after next week's. We'll see. And then last but not least, for the things I watched, The Social Dilemma on Netflix. It is a documentary, and if I did not need social media for the website and for work, the way we use it for work, I would close every account I had. I cannot stress enough that everyone needs to watch it, because this is not conjecture about why they created things the way they did. They actually got all the people, the people that designed the Facebook like button, the early Google engineers, Facebook engineers, Pinterest engineers, Twitter engineers, all of them from the early days, and put them into the room and say, why did you make the choices you did? And they explain it, but then they also explain how it's grown and changed over time into this thing that is actively living to consume your life. And it's downright it is probably the most educational and horrific thing I have watched in years. and one of my friends who's in the military watched it and promptly deleted all of his social media accounts. And I keep trying to get Daniel to watch it. He's like, no, I don't want to delete all my social media accounts. I know I'm going to if I watch this. And I'm like, yeah, you're gonna want to anyways. But yeah, I can't recommend it enough. Again, you got to have a Netflix subscription to watch it, but it is well worth your subscription value. Deeply disturbing and very good and very educational. So it's called The Social Dilemma. It's on Netflix. And then, I skipped Genshin Impact. So I told myself I'm not going to do any more gacha games. Caravan Story was the last one. And after doing my taxes at the end of this last year, I know exactly how much I spent on Caravan Stories. And I'm like, nope, not going to do that no more. And so when Genshin Impact came out, I kept telling Banner, no, I'm not going to play it. No, I'm not going to play it. No, I'm not going to play it. And he did a me. He's like, please, just download it and try it out. It'll be fine. You don't have to spend. I'm doing free to play. You don't have to spend a dime on the game. And so of course, yeah, he says, "Gotcha games get you." Yes, they do. So I said, all right, I'll play the game. And then I started learning about the tier rankings of the characters, and I figured out who I wanted. And I said, okay, I'm setting aside this much to support the devs. And because let me tell you this, the biggest question is Genshin Impact a Breath of the Wild ripoff? Ripoff, no. Homage, yes. It is 100% like a love letter to anime-style Zelda games is the best way that I could say that.
Heavily inspired by, yeah.
Yeah, heavily inspired by. Anywhere you can see, you can go if you have enough stamina to climb to the top of it. And that's really about where it ends, to be honest. The game is pretty... I don't want to say unique. It has definite RPG and MMO tropes, but they're interesting spin.
On.
Listen, if I could, I have two characters with a claymore. If I could beat her with one of them, I'd be happy. But Paimon is definitely the Navi of this game for sure.
More but of a tingle maybe, but yeah.
Yeah, well, whatever. It's still horrible. They shouldn't do it, and they did. And yeah, I mean, it's all right. But the story is JRPG flair, JRPG-esque, I guess. It's you have your character levels, and then you have your world adventuring level. And you can't progress your character levels beyond a certain point until you unlock higher adventure levels. And just logging in and doing like the storyline quests every day and the daily quests, you're gonna level that stuff up. I'm really close to level 22, which is a big milestone. I'm on level 21 right now, and I haven't got to play in like a couple weeks. I'm just here and there. I'll pop on and I'll do a couple things and I'm good to go. I adventure leveled up. I'm good. So Banner is being contrary and says Paimon is awesome. I think he's just trolling at this point because Paimon is not awesome in any way, shape, or form. She's super sing-songy and I want to murder her, but that's all right. The characters feel different. Everybody's elementally attuned. Oh, why am I not? I had all this footage queued up so that I could actually show this while we're doing it, and then I didn't do it. Yeah, so now we're seeing it. So, you have stamina bars for running around and for attacking and things like that, and everything's elementally attuned, right? So your character might be wind, which is strong against lightning and weak against fire, or I'm not saying that is what it is, but you get the idea. There are things that are stronger than other things. And so you want to round out your 4-person party with a variety of elemental people. So mine is fire, wind, electricity, and who am I using for my fourth person right now? I've kind of been switching up the fourth person slot, so I'm not 100% sure what I have in my fourth one. Maybe Geo or Earth. I'm not sure. It's called Geo in the game, but yeah. So yeah, it's kind of one of those things that you go out and you get quests. There are random events that you can happen upon. There's it has a glider, which I very much appreciate that you can use pretty much everywhere. And there's puzzles that involve finding wind to create updrafts so that you can get things. And then there are MacGuffins. I mean, there's basically just different currencies. There's a currency in the region that will allow you to upgrade the shrines that you pray to, that gives you more stamina and increases your adventure ranking. There are chests everywhere to find. I mean, if you're into exploration games, this game reward. I mean, it's got the serotonin hit like every 25 seconds. I mean, legit. It's like you climb up onto a rock and you see three more places to go, and oh, there's a chest over there. Oh, there's a bunch of people surrounding a chest that I have to kill in order to open the chest. Oh, what's this tall rock over here? Oh, can I swim out to that island that I can see out there? Or am I going to drown? You know, what's the case? So there's always something to see, always something to do. From that standpoint, I mean, and you can, unlike almost any other game that I've seen, you can 100% play this game without dropping a single dime. You do not have to spend any money on this game whatsoever, and that to me is a little crazy. There are definitely quality of life things if you do drop some money on the game, but you don't have to, and it's kind of crazy. It seems like even though there are S tier rank characters, you can make do with the starting characters that they give you and actually beat the game with it. The traveler, the main character is actually, I don't want to say she's super strong, but she's very versatile and she has good moves, and that helps. Banner says he found 400 chests in the first area. Shaking my head. Yeah, and he's world rank 3, adventure rank 33, level 60. Yeah, and I'm level 40, and I'm still adventure. I think I'm world rank 1, adventure rank 21, if I'm not mistaken. And you can co-op, but I'm still like, why? Other than to complete some rewards in your journal, to get higher adventure rank. It's a little weird. Oh, I just drowned on screen. Yay, I died. And then there's no like perma penalty. There's no permadeath or penalty. You just lose a little life and respawn. And now I've respawned where I can't swim back, and I'm like, oh no, what do I do? So yeah, that was good. But yeah, it's the game is beautiful. It's very much anime style influenced. You can definitely find a waifu if that's what you're going for. But the game, is the story great? No, it's okay. It's a traditional JRPG fare. It's not like the greatest story ever written or anything like that. I'm gonna die again. And yep, just drowned again on screen, trying to get back to the same place I went to last time. There's a chest out on a rock. I really wanted it. I just had to come back later to get it.
Right.
But I'm apparently going to try a third time and drown again.
There's got to be a way. Yeah, I mean, I fired this up. I played through to right outside of the first city. That's all the further I got.
You were saying it was giving you real like technical issues.
It was. The first time I played it, Paimon disappeared.
Oh, so God. Please tell me how to do that.
No, because when Paimon disappears, everything disappears. None of the story points, none of the tutorial stuff kicked off, none of the dragon encounter didn't happen. The food lady outside the city wasn't there. Nothing happened. So when people were saying this is a Breath of the Wild clone, I'm like, well, heck yeah, this is a big empty world with nothing in it except some enemy little camps I can take out every once in a while. Okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah, you should try it again because it's...
Oh, I did. I fired it up again, and I was like, why am I all the way back at the starting beach?
Oh,
And then
nice.
that's when I realized, oh, like this entire thing bugged out.
Nice.
Okay. So then that's when I went through, I did all the stuff that I talked about up to when you meet the food lady right in front of the gate to the first city. And then I had to quit and I haven't gone back to it. For me, and I'm kind of half watching the stream here, but it's on a little screen, so I can't really tell. But texture pop up for me is just terrible. Like it's distracting to the point where I'm like, as I'm walking up, things are just texture popping all over right in front of me.
I think what
Um,
you said in chat is real. I think your PS4 is dying, my friend. Because
it might
if
be.
you watch my stream here, I'm not having any of that.
I can't. Well, it's too
Yeah,
not
I know
big
it's little for
enough
you,
for me to
but
tell, but
yeah.
um, but then like okay, and I have heard other people say the same thing. Like I wasn't watching there, but like when you run up to a berry, I've got to wait like a solid second and a half for that prompt to pick up the berry to appear.
That is 100%. But what I actually do is I just run past it and spam, and it picks it up.
It
So
eventually picks it up. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
it
like
eventually it pops up on the screen and picks it up. So
it's
that
like
is
weird.
a
Like you
real thing.
jump to pick up a fruit, and as you pass the fruit, no prompt. But the minute you land on the ground, the prompt to pick up the fruit appears. It's like
Nope, that's 100% realistic. Yes.
okay, that is a thing. So really, the only thing for me then, the combat's a hair laggy. I mean, but it's not super critical because it's not super precise combat. At least not what I've gotten into so far, which is like these goblin things and the blobs on the ground. Um, I thought it was kind of cool that you can mix magics. Like if there's fire on the ground and you cast a whirlwind through it, you will end up with a fire tornado. That was pretty cool.
Or if you are on water and you cast ice and then you use wind, it'll actually extend the ice further out.
Yeah, yeah. I know Mitchell played quite a ways past where I did, so I saw some of the stuff that was going on there. I mean, it's passable, and for a free game, it's pretty dang impressive, right? Now they've made like ridiculous bucks on this because people
So
have no self-control, but
they invested $100 million to in development costs for this game. They recouped that in 14 days.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's a lot of gotcha packs.
it
Um,
is a lot of gotcha. And so
so did you plunk down basically 60 for this? Did you basically end up paying full price, or did you go over that? You
I
said you
went
said
over
it
that.
was
I said a set amount, but I knew I was going to have to spend a bit to get the premium characters that I wanted, the S class characters. Like Diluc is the one that I was really trying to get, and I got him for way less than I was expecting to spend. I was very lucky, and I got him, and then I ended up like no no joke. I don't want to say specific amounts because I don't want to like shame people
no,
or people
yeah.
to feel shame about that or say, oh, you're one percenters or whatever you want to say there. I will say that I do know one person who spent 2 grand and did not get the character because it's like a point. I think your best bet for getting Diluc, the character I'm talking about, is a 0.6%. And if you do it off the banner that like so how they have this is they have a promo banner right now who's Venti, who is another S rank character, S class tier character. Venti is a wind character, and you can get other 5-star characters on that banner, and you actually have an increased chance of about 0.6%, which isn't a lot, by the way. They have a Diluc banner, and I think it's 0.125 on the Diluc banner to get him, and I actually pulled it off the Diluc banner. So, and I did it for less than 200, which was incredibly surprising to me. Yeah, banner saying I've seen YouTubers drop 2K or more and not get a 5-star. One of the things I will say about this game that is pretty sweet, they call it a pity pull. If you don't get a 5-star within 90 pulls, they give you a 5-star. Which
Okay.
I've never seen any gacha game do that. So
Oh.
you're guaranteed a 5-star pull in 90 pulls. And the way they have been doing the game is, I think you have been getting 150 of the things per day. You need 1,600 to do a 10 pull, and the game gives you enough to do 30 pulls right out the bat. And Banner got his Diluc from the Venti banner. So yeah. Anyways, it's like I said, you don't have to drop a single dime on the game. It's pretty freaking amazing for a completely free game. I get why they made their 100 million back. It's really good. And I've had a lot of fun playing it. I have not gotten bored with it at all. I like the feel of the different characters. The combat plays out differently. And I am playing characters that I thought I would never play. I totally got an S-class tier character by accident on one of my 90 pity pulls. And I played her for like 3 minutes, and I didn't understand her, is the best way that I can say that, like what her powers do. And so I went back afterwards, and yeah, she's probably like one of the strongest characters in the game. And so now she's the person I run around with on the open world, as opposed to Diluc, who I'd been running around with on the open world for everything else. So, but it's a really smart system, really easy to pick up and play. I think Lexi's going to get into it. She was really interested about it because it's very pretty, and it has crafting, which is one of her favorite things. And there's a ton of crafting in the game, so that's good too. So yeah, Genshin Impact. There's that. Let's see. What else was on the list here?
PS5.
Oh yeah, the PS5 UI. Let me pull that up. PS5 UI done by our Sony's own Sid. I want to punch you in the face, Schumann. All right.
You and the Sid hate.
I totally do.
So have you hated him all the way back to his Game Pro days, or is
Oh my God, yes. I mean, I don't listen. I'll be the first to tell you that it is a completely irrational response, right? It is. I don't know Sid. He's probably a fine guy, right? Just like the guy that does the PC show for E3. Probably
that guy's terrible.
No, they're the same guy to me. They're the same guy, and I can't. I just want to punch them both in the face. And it's like I said, they're probably really nice guys, and I'm. It's just their way they come across on camera or something.
That script was not great.
No,
the script was not great at all.
It was not great. And you know, did he come up with that script? I bet he did. So this is like, I don't know, maybe not.
I doubt he wrote the script.
Maybe not, but you never know. It had some really, really, yeah. Anyways,
thanks, game help.
Yeah, thanks, game help. I'm like, oh God, please stop now. So you know, we got our look at the startup screen.
Had the State of Play always had the PS logo with the little flag off the bottom, or is that? I don't remember seeing that before.
No, that's new.
That's new, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's new. It wasn't like that before. So we're gonna do this without voice, just so we don't have to listen to Sid.
Or copyright strikes or
yeah, that yeah. I don't know. So first off, the main screen here. All right, I actually don't like this. This is really super cluttered to me.
It's really going to depend on how many of those cards there really are. But again, it's also one tap of the PlayStation button and it's gone. So
right. And I know, but you know, in terms of what I do like about this is that it seems like it's completely contextual to this game.
Yeah.
Right. So that's cool in that, you know, here's my latest screenshot or video grab, and then here's these things you kind of started in the game but you never finished. My fear, though, is that they made a lot of caveats about this, that like the in-game help, this feature where you can see goals and stuff, it's by developer, which means that the first-party developers definitely will do it, but third-party developers probably maybe
not
not.
so much.
And
Maybe
so
the
that's
trophy stuff, but not.
yeah,
yet.
that's kind of sad. So I do,
We know Miles Morales definitely has it. We know Little Big Planet definitely has it, and Dark Souls or Demon Souls or whatever the Souls is probably has it.
Banner
So
says, I need themes, not all this. I hope my themes carry over or we riot. I have news for you.
Carry over.
Yeah, probably not going to carry over, and probably not going to be themes for a little while. Because if you remember the PlayStation 4, there were no themes for a while. It was the base default theme, and then people had to figure out the system, and then they started going up. So it'll probably be a little while. I mean, I do like the ability to see a challenge within a game and go, but again, how many devs are really going to take advantage of that? And that's sure, in something like Sackboy, it makes sense. In something like a story-driven game, I'm not so sure how much sense that would make to let your players just jump around to any chapter they want to do stuff.
Right.
That's kind of weird. So I can see that being kind of situational.
Well, I'm interested to see what the first party devs do with it, and if any of the third party do pick it up because of things they see catching on. But since Xbox won't have anything like this, doubtful that they'll put the extra energy into it.
And then Sony says, "F you, GameFAQs. We're gonna try and put you out of business if you have a PlayStation Plus." that was pretty. Yeah. If you have PlayStation Plus, then you get the help guides. If you don't have PlayStation Plus, get PlayStation Plus. That's what Sony said. Right?
Basically, yeah.
It's pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, it's so blatant that they even put the PS Plus on every single help thing. That's crazy.
Which does imply there could be some games that will have, like, if it's an online game where you don't have to have Plus to play it, they may have help that doesn't require Plus, right? So there may be help items that you can get without Plus and with Plus. That might be what the Plus indicates.
I'm making the caveat to revisit this after like a year as a discussion topic, because I have a feeling we're going to see free hints and then PlayStation Plus hints. Yeah. And one will be way more detailed than another. And if that's the way this goes, that's super bad, and they need to not do that. Yeah. I'm not sure I like that. This is really messing me up, by the way, because I'm watching
a UI over the top of the UI.
No, I'm watching the broadcast over here, and then I've got my video over here that I'm working through. And so every time I go to move the scrub the video, I'm doing it on the broadcast side. So this is going to take a little get, because it doesn't go anywhere when I hit the broadcast window. So this is going to take a little getting used to. What else did they show us here?
The parties.
I do like this little thing of where it's telling me, oh, it's probably going to take you about 10 minutes to finish this up. That's super important when you have limited amount of time for gaming, to have some kind of approximation to be able to tell the wife, hey, I'm almost done with this level. I'll be done in 10 minutes, or something like that. Or I think that's a...
Or just know, hey, do I have time to do this before I got to leave for whatever in 20 minutes? Like,
right.
Okay, I should be able to knock this out. Okay.
That is, to me, this is probably the least talked about feature that I've seen people analyzing, and I think the smartest quality of life improvement that they have.
See, and they said some interesting words there too, where I'm like, okay, it's your personalized, but is it personalized like everyone that's at 30% of this thing, it thinks it's going to take them 10 minutes? Or does it actually learn like your patterns, like me or Dave, who's
or me? Or me.
Corner, or you. Yeah, that's a dig into every single corner place of things. Oh, ours is going to be 25 minutes because it knows we're going to be running around clicking every pixel to see if we can find something.
I mean, with the power in these machines, there's no reason for that not to be an AI that learns your individual playstyle.
Yeah.
Tied to your profile. They could combine that with the PSN cloud for that kind of computing stuff. and have that be. I would hope so. I have a feeling that at the beginning it's going to be a generalization,
Mostly,
and
yeah.
that
And then there's
yeah,
probably going to be some sort of lookup heuristics that'll build over time. I'm
right.
interested to see more what all you can do with that. I'm still going to call it an XMB at the bottom there, because I know that has been a big complaint from a lot of folks in this generation, is that you can do some stuff from that menu that's in the game, but to do anything real, you got to bump back to the homepage, and there is a performance hit you take in a time lag bumping from in game to the homepage and then back out, because it's not necessarily the smoothest transition, especially on stock units. Um, but yeah, so it'd be interesting to see what all plays out with. They show the game switching. They show switching to another game from within this game. So they switch to
Mm-hmm.
the Derby game from within this game, which implies that this game just goes to standby, and it launches the next game, and you could just switch back to Sackboy exactly where you were.
Now, let
Uh,
me tell you, I know you're not the biggest multiplayer fan, right?
right. Yeah.
But I will say that this whole thing where Ken could be playing Genshin Impact and I'm playing Genshin Impact and he's trying to show me where this chest is that he found. And I can literally just watch him do it and do it with him on my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you and I are playing, I don't know, Divinity, and I'm like, no, go over here. And, even though we're doing single player, we're in the party together and can still be playing single player but seeing what the other person's doing. That's super awesome to me. And that is like a diehard journalist's take on it right there.
Yeah.
Super awesome. I mean,
No,
that's
that is a really nice feature.
because even for people who don't like to play online together, it still lets them be social while playing single player games together. And I think that's
Right.
super interesting.
Hmm. It is. I think it's
Uh,
nice that it gives a lot of options in how you can frame it too, right? So you can either just frame it up and cut your picture size down a little bit, or if you're okay with covering some part of your UI up, you can plop it right on the screen there.
yeah.
The options, that's real nice.
Yeah,
Um,
I like it
the
when it dropped it down to the bottom. Yeah.
the party stuff. What was your take on that? Because we kind of got a feeling for what it is now with 8.0's drop. So we kind of we know now that to create a party you have to have a group, and then you have to invite that group to the party.
Well, I
For
mean, I don't
PS4, it's
have a
kind of clumsy because it
yeah.
wasn't designed that way.
I don't have a problem with that because we do that anyways now.
Right.
We have our group that, everybody we send text and videos to, and then when we want to group up or for party chat, we just send an invite to the party chat to the party, and then everybody gets it, and whoever wants to join joins. I have no problem with that. So it's kind of what we're doing now. I'm
See, that's
hoping
what I
it's a
want to
little.
know more about, though, is those trophy cards, the 3 and 20% trophy cards.
Wait. Let's go back here because I didn't see what you're talking about here. Oh, sure enough. Collect a full chain of time score. Very rare. I wonder if hidden trophies appear as cards. I would think they wouldn't.
And those might just be the lock on it might just be that you haven't unlocked it. So, but I
Right.
mean, that's been one of the things where, especially games that don't give you the built-in stats to say, oh, you've killed 20 slimes and the trophy has got to kill 50 slimes. Okay. There's a lot of games where I've killed a lot of things going, how many more of these blasted things do I have to kill to pop this stupid trophy? And then, I could just look and say, oh, 10. Okay. It's only 10 more. All right. Oh no, it's 200 more. All right. I'll work on that tomorrow.
Right.
You know,
Banner says he dislikes the new PS4 chat. I haven't actually been in since they redid everything. Like I turned it on to download the Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer, and
right.
that's been the extent of it. Oh wow, I skipped a game in my. How did I do that? I totally put it on here. Oh, I put it under stuff to talk about. And that's why I didn't talk about it. Knights of Pen and Paper 2. This is a. What can I. Okay, let's finish this and then I'll talk about that. We'll finish talking about the UI and then we'll go there. I thought probably the most damning thing in the entire conference, the entire presentation, was him trying to take that photo. right here. What's wrong with this? I'm trying to line up a photo. What do you see wrong here?
I don't know that the UI is still on the screen.
Yes, the bottom third of my screen is taken up by a UI. So how do I know what I'm taking a picture of?
That's just the screenshot mode, right? I mean, he did say that other game, some games will have their own in-game photo mode.
Yeah, but
So,
when
you'd
you
line up the
watch
shot
and
in that.
he takes the picture, it's the picture without the bottom third being obscured. So
Right.
why wouldn't you make it translucent or something until you press the button? This makes
Yeah,
no
and
sense.
it probably will be eventually. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
that's
good
a little
point.
weird.
It's weird.
I'm somebody who thinks about taking photos all the time, in game, out of game cameras, and it's just silly. I hope they fix that real quick. I still have no idea what this game is. I don't know if I'm going to buy it
Nobody
or not.
does.
Yeah, I know.
The the other thing was, they only showed Twitter as a linked service. I mean, there's
Yeah,
the homepage, which
yeah,
is pretty straightforward. I think the homepage looks fine.
yeah. Looks fine. I'm hoping that eventually we'll have motion backgrounds and stuff, and cool things. But yeah,
The one thing my daughter said when she saw that is like, "Why are the icons all so little?" I'm like, "Because that gives you more screen to do other stuff with." I don't know.
yep, yep. I don't mind it. I don't
Uh,
mind it.
It was nice
Um,
to see the PlayStation Plus logo up there, or PlayStation Now logo up there, though. That means my subscription is not null and void.
I, I don't know that there's anything more that I need to say other than or that we really have to talk
No,
about. Other than that
yeah,
the store is supposed to be integrated. We'll see if that's better than what they're doing now.
yeah. They implied it was, but they didn't go
Didn't
into it,
show
right?
a
So
darn thing about it. I'm like, come
my
on,
guess
guys.
is that's one of the bugs and hiccups that they gave the disclaimer on. That part isn't quite figured out yet. So
Yeah.
we're just gonna glaze over that one there. Let's keep on going. I mean, it looks pretty. I think it's a good use. I mean, a lot of these things are things that they actually talked about in the PS4 reveal early days, right? Like the
Right.
ability to get help guides for people to jump in and to watch other people do stuff. A lot of this stuff is straight out of the PS4 early announcement of where they wanted to go with it, right? Which is the same because the PS4 was a lot of the things they promised with the PS3. PS3 was a lot of the things they envisioned with the PS2. Yeah, there always seems to be kind of a generation ahead of what they can actually do. So I mean, from that aspect, it was good. I think that a lot of this stuff, because now they're kind of assuming 4K displays. So I don't know how this will all look or work if you have a 1080. That
Oh, it'll
might
be
not
fine.
be best.
It'll
It'll probably be
scale down.
fine.
It'll
It'll,
scale down. It's fine.
yeah. I mean, you just like those little videos won't be as crisp and stuff, right?
Right.
You just
Right.
that's the trick to it there. But I'm still really excited for the system.
Me too.
I really, really, really need to find someone that's going to have a Series X because I just want to, at this generation more than any other one, really get a solid comparison of the two.
Just give me a little time.
Um,
I'm not joking. I probably would get it I'm sorry. The idea of the Series X and Game Pass is enough to sell me on it.
yeah, and I sit here and wonder, are they just losing money to keep audience? I mean, are they going to be
To,
serving ads on the homepage to make up revenue? Because there is no way that is a financially viable system.
mm,
And we can debate numbers later, and we can try to figure it out. But
I would
I
imagine
don't
that they
see it.
have some kind of. I would imagine that they're not doing it like PlayStation Plus as a starter. PlayStation Plus. We know that basically they are the development company is comped for each copy of the game that is downloaded. off the
Right.
PlayStation. And
Well,
my
I would say
guess,
PlayStation Now is the comparable service, right? So I
right?
have no idea how that works.
Yeah, I would imagine it's actually something where they are tracking, the number of streams and downloads for a particular game, and then doing some kind of financial compensation to the folks based off of that. Um,
A- And but I mean, a lot of it, at least a lot of the draw, as I understand it from Game Pass, is there are the first party titles day and date, right? Which means
yep.
you're giving up millions of $60, $70 sales for 50, what is it, 150, 120, I forget what the price on that is for a year
Yeah,
of.
but they must have crunched the numbers and said, okay, average Joe buys 2 games a year. If we charge him $120 for the year for Game Pass or whatever it is, maybe it's $20. I
Right.
don't remember. They got. I think they probably had built that into their spread. Even people like us, they probably. Well, I mean, much like Sony knows what we play and how long we play because they send us that yearly report where you go,
Hmm.
oh my God, you have a second job playing games. Uh, they must have crunched those numbers to see what the average is and then priced accordingly so that they don't lose their shirts on the people
Yeah.
like us who play a lot of games.
Yeah.
That's my only thought on it. But I mean, I
Yeah.
think the fact that now I'm going to have a bleeding edge PC again, and I get any of those games I want on that as well as the Xbox. That's the one thing actually holding me back from doing it. I'm like, do I just get the Game Pass now and not worry about the Xbox Series X?
Xbox. Right. Because you've got the
I
vast
got
majority of that. It's right there. It's on your PC. So yeah.
yep. So we'll see. Banner says I'm no
Anyway,
longer sweating grabbing a PS5. I'll get one when I get one. Yeah, I don't think. Sadly, I don't
I,
think there's much choice at this point.
I still don't have confirmation. I have confirmation that my controller, my camera, and my charging deck is coming, but I don't have confirmation that the system is coming.
Yeah, so for those of you that ordered directly through PlayStation, they are releasing all of the accessories early. I believe it said
30th. The
October
30th.
30th. Yeah,
Yep.
Is when those will be shipping out. So
Not
just
the games
FYI.
though. My
Not
my
the games,
my,
and
my Miles Morales still says November 12th on it.
yeah, yeah. Um, so one of the games that dropped this week is a very old friend of mine that I was very happy to see. It's called Knights of Pen and Paper 2. In fact, let me pull up Knights of Pen and Paper 2 gameplay. It is the best way that I can say it is it is a love letter to D&D dungeon crawling. Yeah, I guess is the best way that I would say that. It's all text based. There's no voice, but there are great 16-bit graphics. You have a bunch of different characters, and you get to pick the class of the character. So cleric, paladin, mage, but then you could be a goth or a cheerleader or a jock or a uh, uh, an emo kid or a hipster, things like that. And then you get, as you beat monsters and level up, you get points that you can put into the different abilities for your character. And then you build the party you want over time, and um, and you keep adventuring, and it basically making fun of almost every other video game and game out there. At one point, you fight Mario with his plunger. He's one of the bosses. Um, stuff. It's silly stuff like that. But yeah, it's pretty funny, and it's a lot of fun. I absolutely love it, and it's I think $5 in the game sale right now,
Hmm.
if I'm not mistaken. It's not expensive, and you'll get hours and hours. It's single player only, but hours and hours of dungeon crawling goodness if that's what you like. And
Is
I'm
it is
trying to.
it is it like session? Like, is it you play for like an hour and that's a campaign, or how is it?
No, so it's quest based, and
Okay.
so a lot of times it'll be go here. My favorite part is you're always sitting in front of the table with the DM. The table just moves between location to location, which is pretty funny if you ask me. But you basically get a quest. It usually opens a place on the map that you need to travel to. And you need to roll between each of the legs of the journey to see if you get randomly attacked or whatever. Then you go there and you do whatever the quest is. Sometimes it's beat a boss. Sometimes it's defeat X number of monsters. Sometimes it's defeat monsters until you get X drops from the monsters.
Mhm.
But you're always fighting monsters. This is the short answer, you know. And I'm trying to set the expectations realistically. It's like I'm pulling up a battle here that you can see in the video where yeah, so here they're fighting rats in level 1 rats at the beginning. And everybody's got initiative order so you can plan your turnout. But this is it. I mean, it's never more graphically intensive than this. And
Right.
it is what it is. And it's just about leveling up and then kind of going forward. So it's a lot of fun. I really can't recommend it enough, especially while it's on sale right now.
Cool.
And they I do want to make a note that this is different than the phone version. There is a phone version of this game which is free to play in the bad way, in that
Mm,
they try to get you to spend a bunch of money and everything. This is not that. This is just a self-contained, no DLC. All the DLC is already in there. There's nothing to buy, etc. You get the full game. It's really good. I can't recommend it enough.
cool.
That's it. Yeah. So there's that. What else do we have on the list? Ghosts. Animaniacs, which
One of the best
listen,
announcement.
man.
It's not even an announcement because we already knew about it, but like, what else do you call it? That was brilliance. That was
As
classic.
as someone who has seen the movie Jurassic Park in theaters 28 times, legit, plus hundreds of times not in the theater.
Yeah.
This was probably the greatest thing I've ever watched. The music they used the John Williams score music, which is unbelievable. I could not believe. And then I was like, oh wait, it's Steven Spielberg, so of course he can if he wants to.
Yeah.
You know, and just
And the Brontosaurus shadow. Boing, boing, boing.
to this day, Animaniacs is probably one of my favorite cartoons because of that whole fingerprints joke.
And then, it's sad that I know exactly what you're talking.
My mind just melted when that happened. And I was like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever. And Spielberg is producing this? What? Yeah, it was super good. So yeah, I was super thrilled by this.
Oh, yeah, and it does. I mean, it's like the show never stopped, right? I mean,
Yeah,
this
no.
this is this is just dead on, and they have so many of the original, voice actors back, and so many of the original concept people back. It's yeah, how this happened, I don't know.
Yeah, Hulu wins the internet. That's pretty much what that is. For securing that for Hulu only, yeah, they win
Yeah,
an internet. That's crazy.
and especially since isn't Hulu almost like 80% owned by Disney now.
Yeah, Disney and NBC. So yeah, November 20th can't get here soon enough.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
just in time for a birthday party.
and just after the PS5 launch.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty psyched about that.
And then I like that they drew the zero like a D, so it looks like 2D, but it's 20 and
Yeah.
2D animation. Yeah, yeah.
What else? What else do
We
we
haven't
have?
seen lions like these since 1998.
This this doesn't look like a reboot.
Going to make so much
Yeah,
money.
no, that line, and the one where Grant's like, "Say it again,
Spoon.
say it again." So good, just so good.
Oh,
Cyberpunk 2077 Nightwire City episode 4.
just
Did I
keep
do that
adding
wrong?
words and eventually get
Night
there.
City Wire. Night City Wire. Episode 4. Um, I have noticed a trend, and this is 100% true. Have you noticed that music videos on the YouTube algorithm are now pushed way down the list, and review videos are getting more views than the actual music videos? And it seems to be going that way for all of them. So there's
Huh.
already like a bunch of Night City Wire reaction videos that have more views or just as many views as the actual Night City Wire. It's
Ugh,
crazy. It's
wow.
crazy. So yeah, there's Holly. Hi, Holly.
Yep.
They talked about cars. They talked about the insane amount of sound work they did to capture cars. They talked about the fact that there's a 1977 Porsche in the game for Johnny Silverhand, meaning that at the time of the game, it will be exactly 100 years old, which is crazy and cool. They did show, a lot of the different things, different types of vehicles that you can steal and or buy, depending on your creds. That's not right. It's not creds in this game. What is it? Man, that's gonna
I have no idea.
gonna drive me insane. I'm trying to learn all the lingo because we're about to start doing a Cyberpunk Red role playing game on the channel, and so Eddie's, that's what it is. It's Eddie's.
Eddie's.
Yes.
Is there a sub of cruisers?
It's actually, that's not, Eddie's is the short form of the word, and I don't remember what the real one is. But it's the slang is Eddie's for units of cash. Interesting that you can drive armored vehicles. There are going to be some races. I still I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go down for my non-lethal playthrough. We'll see. But some of these look very, very cool.
Non-lethal, except when I'm driving and I just run people over.
No, I'm like, I really don't want to drive if I don't have to, but I may have to. So we'll see. We can skip all that stuff. Oh, they did a thing with Keanu Reeves and his motorcycle company, so his motorcycle is going to be in the game as well, based off of one of their real.
I didn't know he had a motorcycle company.
Yeah, I knew about that. This is the motorcycle they're basing it off of right here. So it's pretty badass looking motorcycle. That may actually be the 2077 version of it, but still pretty cool looking. And then they recorded a bunch of it. Yada yada. Oh, let me tell you what, man. This cosplay contest that they did, holy crap, man. They had some cosplay people that were just nuts. I mean, straight up nuts. Let me find it. Hold on.
I imagine there are some people that spent more money on their costume for that than I spend in an average month on just living.
So they eventually did 12 finalists from all over the world. They did 5 at press events and or different events they were doing for Cyberpunk across the world, and then they did 7 from online. Why am I not seeing it? Because I linked it in the chat. Let me just grab it out of the chat. Hold on. Yep, there it is. Copy link address, and now it's going to be all crazy horrible because Google Hangouts. There you go. I want to skip to where she's showing all of them. And I don't want to do all of them, but we can kind of hit on the best of here. So that guy did V, and yeah, I think V is like the least interesting character out of all of them. But then they do little action sequences with him. That's cool and all. Let me find this guy. Oh yeah, this guy is nuts. So, oh no, this guy's Johnny Silver. Wait, where is it? Stand by. Yeah, this guy made a freaking working exoskeleton. He's from Russia. I don't like his mask because it's a mask, right? So the mouth doesn't move, the expression doesn't change,
Right.
but it looks good. But other than the fact that it's not a functioning cosplay in that way, so that
Right.
looks cool and all. But he does friggin' build an exosuit that actually has like backlighting and look at it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeesh.
Thank you, Banner. Euro dollars. Eddies. That's what it is.
Okay.
Euro dollars. But yeah, I mean, all this animation and stuff, that was but that's not that's still not like the most impressive one. Let me find. Yeah, this next one is the one that I was like, "What are you doing?" A fully metal cosplay.
Wow. That's got to be uncomfortable as heck.
But well, the best part though is the end, like the very end. I love that the story of this little clip is that she's giving some homeless guy a new arm, a new cyber arm.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, it's actually kind of sweet, Yeah, watch this craziness. That's pretty crazy. Anyways, I want to
Wow.
skip through. Johnny Silverhand was cool. Yeah, he's all right. What's this one? Nope, that one's not so cool. Nope, not that one. Oh yeah. So okay. Yeah, finish that one, move on to the next one. So this next one is a girl. And she did so much work you'd never know it was a girl. Other than hearing her talk. And the amount of work that was done to pull this off for this little video they do is just impressive. Like, it legit looks like something directly out of the game.
Yeah.
And it's
That
full
is.
body. It's full body. It's not just like one part and then it's got different modes for the lights on the top. It's crazy.
That's pretty intense. How people have time for all, or not time, but just, I mean,
Time,
geez.
yeah. And then I think this other one is probably my other favorite. She did not win anything, but I just thought it was probably, in terms of putting together a character that would fit into this universe, I totally see this as being somebody that would be on like TV in the cyberpunk universe. And I think there's one more. Uh,
Yeah, I could to see that as like a
Yeah.
for the what she was going with there. That was
Yeah, so the one with the it was kind of nice because they kind of showed the reaction of the top three, and they were like they were they were all like pretty flabbergasted by the fact that they won anything. Um, yeah. So, anyways, that chick was third place. Second place was oh wait, where is it? Oh no, I'm sorry. She was second place. Third place was this one that I kind of skipped over. That was not a mask. That was a fully working prosthetic that they built, which was pretty badass.
yeah.
And then first place was the one with all the lights on the head that just absolutely was the head to toe mod
Right.
for Dum Dum. It's crazy. So yeah. Apparently she cut all her hair off for this too. She usually has like
Oh
super long
wow.
hair. Yeah. So yeah,
That's
I mean
intense.
the whole thing was super intense. I really yeah, you're right. It's Eurodollars. Eurodollars, Eddies. EDs. Eddies. So yeah, there's that. Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer. We're Ken and I are gonna be playing that on stream here in a little bit. DC Future State. So DC announced that their next big thing is at the end of the year or at the beginning of the year, however you wanna quantify it. They're actually skipping the entire universe ahead 2 years, and we don't know what happens exactly, but nothing is the same. And I think this is going to be like the culmination of the whole dark universe, metal universe, source wall business that they've been kind of building up to for the last 2 years or year and a half, 2 years, with the Batman that laughs and King Robin and all these guys. We know that John Kent, Superman's son, is going to be Superman. We know that we have a brand new Wonder Woman who's from the Amazon, not from the Amazonian island of Themyscira, but instead she's from the Amazon. So that's interesting. And we have a different Green Lantern. Everybody's different. So be interesting to see how that shapes up. Batman is apparently dead, but he's not. But he is. There's a different Batman, different groups of people. So yeah, we'll see how that works out. And it's apparently illegal in Gotham to be a vigilante or supervillain. Masks are outlawed, and of course, they still have them, but the penalties are really high if they get caught. So, yeah.
So how long before they shift everything back?
Yeah, probably a year. They'll probably let you get you invested in this. DC's been DC was good because they waited 20 years to do it again, and then it became every other year, and it's too much for me. But
Yeah.
I still like their storytelling better. I hate to say it. Marvel can be really bleak sometimes. Really, really
Can be,
bleak.
but they did end this last event on a positive note for a change. It was
Yeah.
not. But the cost, what was the cost? It was everybody's like, yeah, lots of people died and it sucked, but we won and we're actually in a kind of a good place right now.
That's
We don't
just
know
setting
what
you
to
up for the
do
next
for a
thing.
change.
We'll see how long that lasts.
Had to give them props for at least doing it once.
Yeah. Yeah. Did we miss anything else on news? I don't think we did.
Not, I mean, I'm sure we missed something, but not the list that we had put together. The Sony listening thing. We did.
Oh,
have that
right.
on the-
Yeah, so there was this big hubbub because going into the UI for the party chat, somebody noticed that it said that, hey, you could be listened to, and you can report people and submit the recordings from your PS5 to quality control to report that person. And I, I don't know, man. It's like we have so many devices that listen to us all the time. And if you think your computers don't listen to you now, you are sorely mistaken. Because when you mention underwear on a podcast you're doing with Matt, and then I see nothing but underwear ads for the next 2 days, where do you think that's coming from?
Yep.
But yeah, it's
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
The hubbub came from the PS4 warning or notification page, which wasn't super clear on exactly what was happening, and they didn't actually include the fact that the PS5 was the impetus for it. So I think that's how it got out of hand. They posted a thing up on the blog now. Yeah, it's basically your PS5 is recording you all the time. Your PS4 is recording you all the time. That's how you get video clips and stuff for how you want to, show that awesome kill you just did or whatever. So they're just going to have another option where it will capture was a total of 40 seconds of audio, the 20-second that you're reporting, and then 10 seconds on either side of it, just to kind of prove that you aren't scamming it or something. And then send that in to Sony to make a complaint against someone who's doing something against the terms of service. So all in all, it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's a good community management thing. Yeah, there'll be some heartache and there'll be some headache. Some people will get banned for things, and others that do the same thing won't. And it'll be messy at first, but they'll get there.
Yeah, and by the way, there was one thing that we did forget to talk about. So, Microsoft bought Bethesda, Elder Scrolls
Oh yeah.
6, maybe an Xbox exclusive, which means it's PC also. So it's not really whatever. I don't see that as exclusive, but whatever. I guess it will only be on Microsoft ecosystems.
Right. Yeah. It'll only be on the Microsoft stores. Potentially. Maybe.
Oh well. Oh well. I mean, they can have
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. I mean, it's getting to a point where there's a potential confluence now of exclusives that beg the question: do I buy a Microsoft console in the next 3 years? And the answer is maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I got the 360 and I never played it because all my friends were on PS5, so I don't know. Marvel's Avengers DLC and next gen versions delayed as they try and regroup because their player base is falling off a cliff because there's not much to do in it unless you want to do nothing but grind.
That's why I would never want to release a game like that, because the management of that post game thing, you're hardcore people that eat it up in 10% of the time that it's supposed to take are the hungry and they give up and go away. And then you have to release stuff ahead of time to keep that people, but then you want to overwhelm the people that are coming up behind them that are taking the predicted flow time to get through it. It's a mess. It's just a mess. But yeah, I'm not sure why they're having to delay everything. That kind of seems counterintuitive, but they're doing something.
I don't know why. I still haven't figured out how this makes sound business sense. But Microsoft basically bought GameStop.
I missed that one.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They put a huge stock buy in. And I gotta find out how much it was. I don't think they have controlling interest, but it's close. Microsoft invests in GameStop.
Well, you're looking for that. The other thing I saw is Michael B. Jordan is producing a Static Shock show.
Nice.
No word, at least yet, as I've seen on what channel or what network or what streaming service or whatever it'll be on. I say channel, I mean I'm old, so I think in terms of channels.
You froze for a minute. Now you're back.
Oh, I'm back! Yay! Had one bad ping.
So they call it a partnership. I had seen one report of how much it was, but I can't find that again. But the short form of it is that they are using the Microsoft Cloud to actually improve their the the chain's in-store tech. Which, if you ever worked at GameStop like I have, it sucks. It sucks so hard. It's not. I mean, you might as well be running DOS. It's that old and bad. But what they're doing is they're saying they're gonna enable a better look at system-wide inventory, deeper insights about each customer, and a tablet computer that store associates can carry with them away from the cash register, which is great. But the other big thing is that every time that GameStop is now going to sell like Microsoft All Access service, which is cloud-based access to Microsoft-made games, and GameStop will get a cut of that. Same for if they sell the Game Pass or an Xbox Series X. They get a cut of each one of those things directly from Microsoft, which is great, except that's still not their core business model, which is, used games, and
Buy high,
that's
sell low, or buy low, sell high.
yeah, buy low, sell high, and that's still gonna be a problem, especially as you know,
Especially Microsoft is pushing away from the physical environment.
yeah,
I mean, they all are, but definitely.
yeah. I'm still looking to see if I can find Microsoft will share digital revenues with every Xbox it sells. Investment advisor says retailer will even get a share of DLC sales if a physical game was purchased from another company. Okay, let's try and get to the bottom of this again. Essentially, if a customer has purchased their Xbox Series X or S from any GameStop branch, the retailer will get a share of each digital purchase the user makes, whether it's full game downloads or downloadable content. I don't get why. What's in this for Microsoft?
Unless they're looking to make that the Microsoft Game Store, but
that's kind of what
the
I'm
entire
thinking.
purpose.
Yeah, that's kind of, well, not necessarily. I mean, this also extends to pre-owned Xbox Series X and X consoles. A multi-year strategic partnership with Microsoft. While the bulk of the agreement focuses on back-end services, there was a line hinting at this digital revenue share. I'm still trying. I believe the answer was, GameStop got cash out of this too. I'm reading through the original press release where they talk about it, but that's not where I saw what the monetary side was. Yeah, it's not in here. I don't know, but I'm still failing to see what Microsoft gets out of this other than pushed Xboxes at GameStop. I mean, and I guess they'll be able to measure if it's working or not, within a year and try different things. But it's kind of weird. Maybe they just want to have the cloud see a retail chain implode in real time.
Or they're trying to prove that, hey, if we can save GameStop, we can save your business too.
Wow.
I wouldn't put it past them, but it's a weird move. But again, they're doing a lot to try to be the good guy this time around. I mean, they're a lot of their strategy is kind of what PlayStation did last time, and I was afraid of this because PlayStation's entire leadership basically changed out over the last 4 years.
Oh yeah.
They are not the same company that put out the 4, and it's very obvious from the marketing and the way that they've handled putting out the 5 that this is not the same company.
You're dying again.
Same people.
Right, you're back.
Yeah. Oh, I'm dying again. Oh yeah, I am. I'm back. I gotta figure out why I'm getting those ping drops, but yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I just don't know. The only thing I can think of is it's somehow going to help their image, and I don't know what the end game there is, but.
Yeah. Jackbox Party Pack 7 coming, and I don't think there's anything else really.
They're up to 7 already? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been busy. Killzone fans think PS5's UI is trying to tell them something. Yeah. Final Fantasy 7 and 8 remastered twin pack, physical discs confirmed for Europe. PS4. I think that's about it.
Yeah, we're good.
Digimon Survive delayed to 2021.
Delayed to 2021. Yeah, I saw that.
The PlayStation 3, PSP, and Vita is dead, along with all of them. No more.
Well, they're not dead. They're just.
Well, there's no more games that you can buy for them anymore.
Well, you can through the store on that device. It's just from the PC store and the App Store. You can't buy them. But if you go onto the store on that device, you can still buy stuff for that device.
Have you tried this? Because the way they made it sound with that latest update, they killed it.
That's what I read. Is that
PS3 store. PlayStation Store stops selling PS3, Vita, and PSP games on mobile and the web. And killing
mobile and web.
But it says you won't be able to buy them on the PlayStation Store. Oh, if you access on a mobile web. Okay. All right. Oh, you can fire up the store on your old console and purchase from there. Okay, great. I misread that. That was my fault. Okay. Good. That's not as bad as I thought, because I was like, wow, that's harsh.
That would have been a sharp knife, and they're not going for that. So, if you want to try to win a PS5, go to Burger King.
Yeah, you have a chance to win one of 1,000 versus how many people enter.
It's not great odds, but hey.
It's better than trying to get one at a retailer.
At the store, now. Yeah, or the headphones, which I kind of made the last minute decision that I wanted headphones, and then just found out that that's gonna have to wait till they actually hit stores because there's nobody gonna be selling them apparently.
Yeah, Lexi turned to me. I showed her Godfall, and
it's pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty, and that's her number one selling factor for games. And she's like, oh, how can I play this on your PS4? I'm like, no. And she's like, do I got to get a PS5? I'm like, yes. She's like, I think I'm getting a PS5. And I'm like, I've got news for you. No, you're not.
I bet there will be units on the floor on launch day. Good luck getting one. But
yeah,
there will be units on the floor.
And, she'll get one eventually. I'm not that worried about it. But more importantly, I don't know what the name of the game is, but it's the Knights kind of spiritual successor that's coming out on PS5. Do you know what I'm talking about? No, it's by the same production team that did Knights on the Dreamcast.
Oh yeah, it's the weird name. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. It's like Obi Blue Boo or
yeah. So that's one of the ones that Lexi identified that she wants really like a lot more than any other game, and so
Okay.
they had a Japanese YouTube group that actually got a hold of PS5, and they have 40 minutes of Godfall, Devil May Cry 5, and that game on it, and that pretty much sold her on 2 of the 3. If I'd have showed her Devil May Cry, she would. No bug snack. She hasn't seen it yet. I mean,
okay.
so yeah, she probably will. We'll see. Although she may look at that and say that's odd, knowing her. We'll see.
Well, it is weird. That is for sure.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah. Well, that's going to bring us then to the end of the show and to our final thoughts, where we talk about the final parting thoughts that we think people need to know. Matt, what's your final thought for this week?
My final thought is that game is not actually a launch game. It's not in any of the lists I've looked in.
Oh, the one that I was talking about?
The one by the Knights devs.
PS5 Knights developers. It's called not Five Nights at Freddy's. Thank you very much. Game.
Also not a launch title.
I bet Eurogamer has it. That was that massive one. That list that I was looking at. But I think it's a third-party game. I don't think it's a first. God,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I just looked at the Push Square list, and they're usually pretty up to date on that stuff. But anyway, I am almost caught up on comic books. That is my final thought. I was caught up, and then stuff happened, and I'm not caught up anymore. But I am very, very, very close to being caught up, and that will be a good thing. And actually get them all boxed up and everything. So that'll be good.
God, I'm trying to find it now myself, and I can't find it. Fantastic podcasting we're doing right here is we're staring at screens, looking at stuff. Yeah. It's not maquette. It's... Oh, this is gonna drive me insane. What's the PS5 game by former Knights developers? Wow, it just doesn't give me a name. I keep getting Five Nights at Freddy's. That's not right. That's not it. You know what? Hold on. I'll just go to my history in YouTube, and I can just find the name of it that way on the Japanese thing, because I'm pretty sure it has it on there. History. There's a rumor that the Brooklyn Nine-Nine star Stephanie Beatriz may be picking up the mantle of Ghost Rider.
Interesting.
I'm looking up the Japanese. I gotta tell myself what I'm looking for, otherwise I'm gonna forget. There it is. So, oh god, it's in Japanese. Wait, let me just back up. Hold on. I'm putting it on the screen so people can see me descend into madness here. Okay, it's past the end of Devil May Cry, because I know it comes up on the screen. It's by Square Enix. This is why it's driving me nuts that I can't think of the name of this dumb game.
Balan Wonderworld.
Yes, thank you. Balan Wonderworld. That's right. Whew.
Eurogamer, you were right. That was where I finally found it.
Fantastic. So, yes, that she has identified that as her number one get for the PlayStation 5. So I'll probably get it, and she'll play on my account until she gets PS5. we can play Godfall together at that point.
All right. Your
Yeah.
final thoughts. Was that your final thought?
No. My final thought is stay tuned, because here in a few minutes we'll be playing Ghost of Tsushima Legends multiplayer online. Should be fun. I don't know how it's going to work. I got to still install the update, so it's going to be a couple minutes. I know I've downloaded it, but I don't think it's installed yet.
Keegan was playing it before. You'll walk through each of the 4 classes, do a tutorial reminder on how to play Ghost of Tsushima,
Which is a good idea for me.
Yeah, and then how to activate each of the special skills for each of the 4 different classes. Then you'll pick a class, and that's your default class that you'll start in. You can switch classes after you get to level something, 5 or something like that. So you'll pick the class you're going to start with, and then you just go into the different match types. And
he says, "Join us, Matt."
Matt cannot join us. Matt needs to go to bed. Matt's not doing well.
Feeling well, yeah.
Yeah,
I hear you, and I hope you feel better. And that then could possibly, maybe, that's good. That brings us to the end of the show, where we like to leave you with a final inspirational and wisdom-filled thought to carry you through to the next time we meet. Matt.
Yep.
Why did the Can Crusher quit his job?
I don't know. Why did the Can Crusher quit his job?
Because it was so depressing.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Until next time, thanks for watching and game on.
Game on.
How do I stop this thing?
Jane!
There it is.